Hi everyone, I am nervous about today's video and I feel like I should preface this by saying don't try this at home, and if you don't listen to me and you decide to try this at home, then at least proceed with caution. Why do I say this? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. But before I get going, I would ask that you please like and subscribe, and I would love it if you left me a comment about this crazy mad skincare routine journey that I've come on. I would love to know if you've ever done anything this crazy, and or if you would dare. But again, this video is for educational purposes only. There's no medical advice in here. I'm not by no means suggesting to you that you should try this at home. I just want to share with you, plus a few people have asked me for my fall skincare routine, so I don't want to lie to you. So let's get into what I'm doing. Let's start with where it all began. If you have not heard of Dr. Zein Obagi, he is one of the fathers and the pioneers of real medical grade skincare restoration. He is very famous in the dermatology community. He is the founder of Obagi Medical, if you've heard of that brand. He started that, and the most recent, he's left that company since, and now he has Zeo Skin Health is his new line. So he also wrote this book, The Art of Skin Health, which is it's a great book. And in it, he talks about skin restorations. And just to give you a very super quick summary, basically, in order to optimize the skin and get it to its best possible healthy state of being, he suggests running through 2 to 3 keratinocyte skin maturation cycles, which is like a complete cell turnover from the moment the cell is born to the moment that it sloughs off your skin, going through 2 or 3 of these cycles to get optimum skin health. And the way he does that is with really high doses of tretinoin. In those that need it, he adds hydroquinone for hyperpigmentation and lots of hydration and barrier support to mitigate the severe reactions, redness, irritation, and peeling that can be expected from these treatments. His rationale is that treatment through the time period of 2 to 3 of these keratinocyte maturation cycles will give optimal skin health with many clinical benefits, as well as increased skin tolerance. So generally this runs for 4 to 6 months depending, and when he did this program, he had people in 3 different groups: the mild, the moderate, and the aggressive. So the mild group used 0.5 grams of tretinoin once to 2 times weekly. The moderate group used 0.5 to 1 gram of tretinoin nightly, and the aggressive group used 1 gram twice a day. Just to give you an idea what that means, half a gram is about 1/8 of a teaspoon of tretinoin, and 1 gram is approximately 1/4 teaspoon of tretinoin. So it's heavy duty dosing. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to be red and dry and peely and give this a try? When I initially started a couple of weeks, about a month ago, I started together with the hydroquinone because I do have hyperpigmentation and a little bit of melasma, but I could not tolerate that because hydroquinone can cause irritation and dryness on its own. So that together was too much. So I started on this journey of a high dose tretinoin, and I'll tell you the benefits I see right now. And then I will go into and explain my morning and skincare routine, which is actually very simple, although it contains quite a few products. So the benefits that I've seen in my skin over a month to 6 weeks actually it's more than that now. It's about 2 months. The main benefit is I had wanted to start the hydroquinone for the hyperpigmentation, and I feel a lot of the hyperpigmentation is actually quite improved. And the other thing that I've noticed is that my pores are just small and clean, and I don't have any congestion. That is not typical for me, but it literally, I feel like I just had a facial when I haven't had a facial for maybe 2 to 3 months, because on this program my skin was too sensitive for a facial. So I haven't had a facial in quite a long time. But my skin right now, it feels really good. It is becoming pretty even in texture and tone. And so I'm excited to see what will come. I've done it for about 2 months, so I'll do it maybe for another 3 and see how it goes, see how I tolerate it. The way I'm in I would say the medium or the middle of the road, where I will apply 1 milligram of tretinoin nightly. I don't do it twice a day, but I do it nightly. And at the beginning, it was very difficult. I would try to do it every night, but I would back off when I had to. I followed my own advice, which is the advice I give everyone, and it's listen to your skin. If my skin was too irritated, too uncomfortable, I would back off a night, but then I just keep trying. And same with my neck, because while I don't do the same thing on my neck, I do bring it down my neck. So if I had sensitivity on the neck, I would stop for a night, maybe 2 nights. If I had an event or a video to film or something to do, I would stop also so that I wouldn't peel as badly. So I made adjustments where necessary, but I was sort of on the path to achieve the ability of using tretinoin nightly. And I have done so, which is amazing, because if you have watched any of my previous videos, I always say I'm the girl who can't get used to tretinoin. I've tried and tried and tried, but somehow increasing that dose made the side effects worse, but actually they subsided much quicker. So initially I was red. I looked like I had a sunburn. I was peeling a lot. I still peel a little bit, but so little that if I just dry my skin with a muslin cloth or a towel, I use bamboo face cloths, that will take off all the peely skin, and my skin looks fine. Like if you zoom in on me, I think I have just a smidge around my nose, but really no peeling anymore. But just to show you some of the people in here, what it can look like, and I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but people were extremely red and peeling, and it's expected. Now, the other really interesting thing he notes is he shows a graph, if I can find it. He shows a graph of the expected side effects subside after 6 weeks, which is about 1 maturation cycle. And then what's interesting is in the people that can tolerate the highest doses, they get the most benefit. And the people who are on lower doses get less benefit. And the reason for that is the high doses penetrate deeper into the skin, and they have more activity and effect on the deeper dermis. Whereas the sensitive group that could only use it once to twice a week, and even the people who use it once a night, the penetration of the product isn't, or the effects of the skin don't extend as deeply into the dermis. So people who had the most significant results used the tretinoin twice daily and had the most profound effects in the deeper aspects of the skin. So I thought that was interesting, but everyone's side effects pretty much began to improve after 6 weeks. Okay, so now let's look at what I've been doing. So my cleansers are my usual, really. I always use the cleansing gel by Skin Better Science or the hydrating cleanser from Zeo Skin Health. I just keep one in the sink or at the sink and one in the shower, and whichever one is there is the one I will use. So that hasn't changed. And then I use a prescription strength 0.1 tretinoin nightly. I apply So for this product, I apply 10 pumps, and the way I found out how much to use is I just took my kitchen measuring spoon and I counted how many pumps it took to fill this up, and that's how I knew how much one gram was, and so that's how much I'm using. And then hydration. So this is the key because the skin is so irritated and so itchy and uncomfortable. I would say the most important thing is avoid the skin by the nares in the crease here, because that is extremely uncomfortable. I avoided my mouth. And in terms of the eyes, I would apply the tretinoin over the orbital bone. So I apply it here and I apply it over my eyebrow, but nowhere closer to the eye, just to stay on the safe side. Products always migrate a little bit when applied to the skin, and this is very strong, so there's no reason to go closer than the orbital bone. I would say my biggest saviors during those irritated and dry days were the Skin Nectar by Elastin. This is a product that's designed for post-procedure care, so this targets very sensitive skin and aims to soothe it and help it heal. And the other one was the Zeo Skin Health Hydrating Cream, which is also basically a rich hydrator that encourages skin barrier integrity and protects the function of the skin barrier. So I would apply this, and then I would apply this on top of that. And I still do. I frequently will apply the Skin Nectar and then follow it by the hydrating cream and then follow that with my sunscreen. Now, my other options for hydrators were a little bit limited. I could sometimes use the hydration boosting cream and the restorative skin complex by Elastin, but if my skin was sensitive, these two would burn my skin, so then I would not use these. I would only use these once my skin got used to the retinization process. Around my eyes, I would, and also if I happened to get any tretinoin here and it got very itchy and dry, I would turn to the Interfuse Lines by Skin Better Science. This is a hyaluronic acid product that actually does hydrate your skin, and so I would apply it for soothing and for hydrating properties. And lastly, I would occasionally use the Zeo Skin Health growth factors, because this is a silicone-based product, so I also find it soothing. And for the last, was it about week or two, maybe 1 week, I've been using the Techno neck cream, and I apply this on my neck in the morning, but after the Skin Nectar and after the hydrating cream. So I can't say that I will have an unbiased or, you know, a true opinion of Techno until I stop the other products, but I've added it, and I can tell you it does offer really nice hydration, but I've not swapped it out for these two, so I don't know yet what this product is like on its own. Those are all the products that I'm using. So in the morning, I will do one of the cleansers, and usually the Nectar with the hydrating cream. And all of my favorite sunscreens are fine for very sensitive skin. So I will go through either the Elastin or the Skin Better Science or the Color Science sunscreens. What I've started doing now is mixing my Color Science Flex, which I love, for the pigmentation. It's got like a light foundation effect. I will mix that with one of my sheer sunscreens, either the Skin Better Science Sheer Lotion or the new, actually I have it here, the new Elastin Silk Shield. And that will lighten the color. And now that I'm more pale than I was in the summer, I get the perfect color by mixing it without having to buy a new lighter shade. So that's really great. And in the evening, again, I will wash my face with either the hydrating cleanser or the cleansing gel. And then what I will do is I will take my tretinoin on my hand and I will add the Nectar, and I will combine the two and apply it to my face and my neck, or I will mix it with the growth factors. And I could mix it with I never just use the hydrating cream alone. I feel like I want something extra that boosts collagen, so that's why I've incorporated elastin into this program. So usually the tretinoin gets mixed with the skin nectar, and then actually the hydrating cream will go on top of that, and that has been sufficient. And then I'll rotate through. Instead of using the hydrating cream, sometimes I'll go in, actually no, instead of the elastin, I'll go in with the tretinoin and the growth factors, and then I'll top off with the hydrating cream. So the hydrating cream is really rotating through morning and evening, and everything else depends on my need. If I'm feeling really dry, then I'll add the lines. If now I've added the techno to the neck, so it depends on how my skin is feeling, but it is a pretty intense program. I'm really happy with the results. I do think it's kind of crazy, but worth it. The one thing I will mention about this program is even Dr. Obagi does not recommend that this become part of your permanent skincare routine. He suggests the cycle for skin health restoration, and then he recommends moving on to a retinol. The way he explains it is after you've achieved the skin health restoration, there's no more optimization that you can achieve. You've achieved it. Your skin is working at its optimal. So then what he says is the side effects outweigh the benefits. So your skin is struggling and it's improving as you're using these high doses, and it's getting better, your pigmentation is evening out, oil production, everything is improving, and it's going to reach a point where it's done all it could and it's optimal. And at that point, there's no more reason to keep going, because then the side effects, the irritation from tretinoin to some degree, and the peeling always persists, not as much as at the beginning, but to some degree. So then the side effects outweigh the benefits, and you bring it down to a retinol and go back to a more normal skincare routine. So if you've noticed, I've left out my beloved complexion renewal pads. I've left out my beloved exfoliating polish. I'm just exfoliating so much that I don't need anything that's going to cause me to slough off a dead skin cell layer. And my pores are so clean, so tiny, that I don't really need any BHAs right now on this regimen. So it's a very simple program, very effective, but also very intense. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts. I know it's a little out there, but I wanted to try it. My plan, unless something unexpected happens, is to continue this through the winter, and I'll see what additional benefits I get. I guess it'll be to January. That's it in a nutshell. I know it's a little out there, but I thought it would be fun to try, and I'm really glad I'm doing it. I don't necessarily recommend it to anyone. It is pretty intense, but you've asked, and so I wanted to share with you. This is my fall skincare routine, and it will go on into the winter, and then I will be back on a more normal program. Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you have any questions, and I will see you guys in my next video.